Okay. Today we are gonna talk about a very popular design pattern that is used in our software engineering industry and is widely used wi- amongst all the bigger e-commerce or the payment platforms or any services or companies that are working at a high scale. And this pattern is known as subscriber pattern, or also shortly known as PubSub pattern. Okay. Now let's consider a scenario. There's a e-commerce company. Let's call it Cool Company. Okay. Now, Cool Company sells certain merchandise about some movies. Let's say some T-shirts or something like that. Okay. Now the Cool Company has a carting system and a payment service. So when you add your merchandise to your cart, let's say you're purchasing a T-shirt. Now when you add it to the cart, we have a separate payment service that processes its payments. Okay. So let's start from the payment service itself. Okay. Now, our payment service is responsible for receiving the payment from the user and sending it to the Cool Company and saying that, hey, this payment is done and you should start the order processing. Okay. So, first responsibility is receive payments. And second responsibility is uh, intimidate the order service so that they can start the processing once the payment is done. Now, our Cool Company has grown to a larger scale, and now we need multiple components to check how our company is doing. So let's say the analytics company now comes in and asks the data about all the payments that are being done. Okay. Also, we want to send a notification to the customer saying that hey, your payment is received, and we want to send email and a SMS notification to the customer that hey, your payment is received, now we are processing your order. So let's say we come up with a new service called notification service. Okay. Now, the core job of payment service, according to the solid principles, the single responsibility principle, was supposed to only receive the payments and process it. Okay. But now our service has expanded to do multiple things, to intimidate order service separately, analytics service, notification services. So we have to go ahead and do something like order service dot notify. And then we do analytics.notify, right, and so on. Now this is breaking a lot of our design principles, as well as it's not very scalable, and everything is very tightly coupled at this point. Now what a better scenario could be, we can ask a middleman. Let's say we call this our middleman, let's say we call it an agent or a broker. We ask this person, once we receive the payments, and we ask this person that hey, I have received payment for this order ID 123, and please intimidate all the other services that are required in the loop, that hey, this particular thing is done and you can start processing your order and notify the customer about the order. Now this is where the PubSub pattern comes into picture. So the agent will be linked directly to these other services via a subscription model. Okay, so all these other services will actually wait for agent to tell them that hey, the payment for a particular order has been received, and now we can start processing our tasks, right? And the task of agent is to receive the event from the payment service. Okay, so in this case the payment service itself becomes a publisher. Okay, and these services become subscribers. And this broker here in our real world could be what we call the broker here could be a messaging queue or any event broking service. So it could be something like Kafka or Redis or SQS or anything prevalent that is useful in our case. And this becomes our PubSub pattern. So essentially, in a nutshell, what happens in a PubSub pattern? Let's say there's a publisher 1, publisher 2, and publisher 3. These all connect to a central broker service, which could be a messaging queue or anything, right? Now, this broker service in turn will talk to all the different subscribers that have subscribed to this particular publisher. Okay, let's make this like this. Let's make it like this. Okay, so here we could have sub 1, there could be subscriber 2, and n subscribers could be here. So similarly here it could be sub A, sub B, and so on. And similarly for the third publisher as well. So the job of this broker is to receive all the events from the publishers and then send it to all the subscribers down the lane. Okay. Thank you.